Antonela Roccuzzo is controlling Messi's life? She's just a jealous gold digger? Whoa! Lionel Messi and Antonela Roccuzzo are one of football's biggest power couples, but they like to keep their lives private and away from the media. But recently, Antonela has been coming under a lot of stick from Messi's fans, and when they decided to dig up about her life, what they realized was shocking. Antonela was born on February 26, 1988. Her dad, Jose Roccuzzo, was a businessman, and her mom, Patricia Blanco, was a homemaker and frequently traveled around helping decorate houses. Antonela and her family grew up in the city of Rosario, and her childhood was pretty normal until when she turned 5, and thanks to her cousin, met the guy that would change her life. Antonela's cousin, Lucas Scaglia, was friends with a kid from around the block, Lionel Messi. So one day, Lucas organized a play date and introduced Antonela and Leo together, and from there, they became pretty close. Immediately, Leo set his eyes on Antonela. Even at such a young age, he knew she was special. So every day after training, Leo was always heading over to Lucas's house just so he could meet up with Antonela. As they spent time together, Messi realized he was hooked and couldn't do without her, so he figured he'd spend all his life with her by his side. That was his ultimate dream. Until one day, Messi got the news that put his relationship with Antonela and his life in danger. Messi was only 11 when the docs called him in and told him what they had discovered. "Leo, you have growth hormone syndrome, and if we don't treat it quickly, it can kill you." Damn, this news was especially hard on Leo. See, he had dreams of joining a team and becoming a pro just so he could take care of Antonela. But now his life was in danger. His dreams were about to fade away too. And to make it worse, all the clubs interested in Leo bailed out on him. Until Barcelona came along, and to save his life, they gave him 2 options that would tear him apart. "We will cover the cost of your treatment, but you have to move over to Spain and come play with us." This was the biggest test of Messi's life. See, if he stayed behind, he won't have the money to treat his sickness, and it could kill him. And if he left, it'll tear him apart from his family. Eventually, Messi knew he had to make a decision. So one day, he called Antonela to their favorite spot and told her his decision. "Antonela, I have to go to Spain so I can get treated. But I promise you that when I turn pro, I will come back for you and take you with me." It was super hard for Messi to tell her all of this, but in a couple of days, after a lot of tears, Leo was on a plane to Barca. And that's when Antonela decided to fix her life and almost lost it. As the years went by, Leo and Antonela tried to keep in touch. But this was the early 2000s. Social media was only just starting, so long-distance communication was almost impossible. They tried to check up on each other by leaving texts, and one day, when Leo came back from training, his phone popped up a notification, and as he slid up, he realized it was from Antonela. Messi probably thought she was just texting back to check on him and see how he was doing, until he opened the message and his dreams flashed before his eyes. Antonela was involved in an accident, and her best friend died on the spot. Immediately, Messi got the news he was crushed. He knew he hadn't been as close to her as he promised, but now he wasn't going to take any more chances, so he packed a couple of stuff in the bag and hopped on the next flight down to Argentina. Antonela's best friend, Ursula Knott's death affected her. She wasn't even thinking straight and couldn't stop tearing up, but as soon as Messi arrived to comfort her, she felt a lot better, because just like before, she could feel him around, and he was helping to get her over the incident. And after a couple of weeks, when she was almost back to her old self, Leo popped 2 questions that would change everything. "Antonela, have you subscribed to Mr. Football and liked this video?" Immediately she said yes, and Messi knew he was halfway done, so he pressed on. "Antonela, after everything that happened, I can't afford to leave you here alone again, so will you follow me back to Spain so I can take care of you?" Whoa, any girl would take the chance to follow Messi back, but there was only one problem. And that's when she knew she had to open up to Messi. "Leo, when you left, I found someone else and have a boyfriend now." It was like someone dropped a bomb in the room. Messi was stunned. See, the months they spent apart took him apart. And some other dude came, and now he had Antonela's heart. The life Messi dreamed of with her was almost gone. And to be fair to her, it wasn't just him, because Messi had a few secrets of his own. Like a girlfriend back in Spain, yeah. See, Antonela, just like everyone else, had heard about Messi's rumored relationships with Barcelona Lemos, but Messi immediately shut it down and told her that it was all just a flash in the pan. He didn't date any of those women. And that's when Antonela realized Messi came back for her, to fulfill his promise he made when they were just kids, and she knew she was in love with Leo. so there was no point in hiding it. She went out, broke up with her boyfriend, and agreed to follow Leo back to Spain. It was a truly incredible moment, but following Leo to Spain didn't mean Antonela was going to give up on all her dreams, because she too had her plans of becoming a mega hit. Antonela always wanted to make her parents proud, and they had dreams of seeing their daughter bag a degree, so while she mainly bunked with Leo, she proved how incredibly determined she was by shuffling through Argentina and Spain just to get her degree. She went to college in Argentina and obtained a bachelor's degree in humanities and social sciences from the National University of Rosario, and even began pursuing a postgraduate degree in dentistry. But by this time, she and Leo had become almost inseparable, and they both had plans of starting a family, so she abandoned those plans to focus on her family and came up with another plan of making her own money. Now, you'd think she's with Leo, she doesn't need to stress or something, but Antonela is an incredibly gifted woman, so she decided to use her natural talents to the best of her ability. I mean, come on, man. She is one of the prettiest women alive, and with a face like that, there is no way mega brands won't be struggling to get her on board. And in 2016, she announced to the entire world that she had just signed a modeling contract with designer Ricky Sarkany. And this was only the beginning, because just 1 year later, in 2017, she and Sofia Balbi, the wife of Leo's former teammate Luis Suarez, opened Barcelona's boutique for the Argentina footwear brand Sarkany. Antonela's pretty famous too. On her Instagram, she has over 20 million followers, and her sponsored posts of her working with several brands like Adidas and Stella McCartney has her racking in millions. But Antonela doesn't let it go to her head, and she still manages to do all of her grocery shopping and house chores on her own, and still have time for the family. In 2012, after Messi scored against Ecuador, he put the ball under his shirt to celebrate, and after the fans figured out what was going on, they realized that Antonela was pregnant. She gave birth to their first child, Diego, and 3 years later in 2015, gave birth to Mario, and then the last born, Ciro, in 2018. With 3 kids and a husband like Leo, Antonela is living the life of her dreams, but that doesn't mean she wants to expose everything. Even though she's a partner of the GOAT, Antonela, just like Messi, doesn't like to base her life on social media. She prefers to keep away and enjoy the little things like reading, taking trips, and enjoying the quiet life. She always tries to shy off social media, and that's why when she and Leo decided to get married in 2017, it was one of the most unique wedding ceremonies of all time. They had only 500 guests in attendance, including friends and family, and it was so private that the guests couldn't even record or take videos from the wedding, because they didn't want the world to know what was going on. Now that she was fully committed to Leo, she was prepared to sacrifice her life for her family, and because she wanted to raise her kids right, she tucked her ambitions to the side, just to make sure the family is okay. Antonela is a combination of beauty and brains, and just like years back, she's always supporting Messi. She comes to all of his games and is always there to support him, even when he loses. Antonela was one of the first to console Messi when he lost the World Cup final with Argentina in 2014, and 8 years later, in 2022, she was by his side as he finally fulfilled his dream of winning the World Cup with Argentina. Even when Messi wins his awards like the Ballon d'Or, Antonela always makes sure she's in attendance to support her husband. She turns down most TV interviews and prefers to do her supportive duties from the sidelines. So yeah, if Antonela hadn't met Leo, she probably would have done okay for herself. I mean, she was able to bag a degree as well as maintain a family and seal social media endorsement deals too. But with Leo on her side, she's gotten a whole new level of fame and made her become a global figure. I gotta bag myself an Antonela soon. But listen guys, there's something else, because recently, some Messi fans have been claiming that Antonela is jealous, and she's the reason Messi's been acting strange. Want to know why Messi doesn't touch other women? Just click the next video.